Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you perking good. So, Valentine's Day, look at all the red and pink here. This was a size medium male's shirt way back in the day, and I cut it all up and bleached it and all kinds of shit so I could wear it. Anywho, yes, the day of love. Y'all have been asking me over and over and over to do something like pick a card readings or things of that nature, and I said I've never done one before. I've never even watched one before. So what I did was ask my sister in general, what kind of things do people do with this, and got a little idea here. So I'm gonna do my way, my version of a pick a pile, pick a card type of reading here. And we're gonna look at what is it that you most need to know going into this weekend about love and relationships. And when I'm asking this, I'm going to ask this a bit broader. I'm going to ask this more than just romance, like love in terms of you giving and receiving love to anybody in your life that gives and receives love with you. So that could be family members, that could be really close friendships, things of that nature. Loved ones can be more than romantic senses. So I'm gonna open it up and be broader like that. So we're about to dig in. We'll see what we're gonna get with this. I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we usually take a look at the tea with the tarot. These videos are meant to be helpful, not hateful. So if you're down with that, join the family here. We'd love to have you. And there's a couple of things that I want to point out your attention to. First of all, if we go looking down here, go on to the next one. I want to talk about you last. There you go. Subscribe if you're not already, and make sure you still are if you thought you were. This is what the notification bell will look like if you actually are properly subscribed. But check back, making sure that you're actually getting the videos, because YouTube lies. And that's the join button below if you want to join the Perk Squad. And the Perk Squad gives 5 extra perks. So we're talking shoutouts, we're talking exclusive posts, exclusive videos, custom emojis, and badges by your name in the chat. All of these perks of the Perk Squad. And one of the things that I want to do today for a shout out is I put up a post the other day, and I said sometimes the small things in life are what can make it worth living, Perk Squad. They can build bonds, make great memories, and lift heavy days for a moment. And then I said, here's my fat little Izzy finding her way onto my heating pad while I was away brushing my teeth. Mean old mommy made her move when it was my turn. So here's my fat deer over here. Can I get over there? Okay. Fat deer. She's on my heating pad. Oh, easy. So I said, anyone here want to share a little moment with big impact from this week? What you may share could come up, or what you share may come up in an upcoming video. So don't share anything if you don't want possibly thousands of people hearing your business. So people wrote a lot of things, and I just want to give some shout outs to stuff. So we're talking about love, we're talking about giving and receiving, we're talking about those kinds of positive things and what kind of impacts that has on us this weekend. So I want to take some time and share some of these things that people were saying. So Foxy Mama 2003, she said, this isn't really a small thing, but my son's amazing girlfriend organized my kitchen for me just because. I'm physically unable to do things like that anymore, and in her words, boys just don't get it. She's such an amazing young lady, and we think so much alike, so everything was exactly how I would have done it if I could have done it myself. That's a true blessing for me for sure, and it really made my week. So, love hearing that. Terry Moore has been helping her sister and her sister's husband, who's been going through radiation for cancer treatments, and she's been over there taking food to them, helping them out, things like that. I mean, those things do add up. That's beautiful stuff that adds up. adds up. This was pretty cool too. Susie Cusey 926 said, I was attending an online class for introspective hypnosis and my dad came through my teacher. I've been waiting 46 years to hear from him. About damn time. And then she said, you were totally right in our private reading too. That class changed my life, my whole life. So yay. Shout out to private sessions. So it's just an observation she wanted to share, and I think that's a beautiful thing too. So people are listening, great things here. We've got Parashik that's talking about being thankful for her fur babies too, like what I was posting there. Some people were saying really nice things about my channel, like Kelly Mullen. Shout out to you for saying that watching my videos has helped you in your spiritual growth process. I think that that's a beautiful thing. And one of the things I want to point out that Kelly says is, I've realized that the cards can mean so many things. So it's 20% card meanings and 80% intuition. And I think that I would pretty much agree with that. So yeah. So loving these things. Hollister74 just lost her fur baby, and I hate that because I have some myself, and I really, they're my children because I don't have human babies. And she has been able to get put through an application to hopefully get a new dog here. So to adopt another one. And she's considering naming it Shadow, so I think that's beautiful. One more I wanna do. I know we're gonna get into this video. If you wanted to skip this part, all this you can, but this is the vibe of the video. This is this is about giving and receiving love and finding the good stuff in the little things and all of that. So I'ma take my time if I damn well please, and I do. So Crystal Erlinson says, my kids and I have started meditating every day together. I found some guided meditations for kids on YouTube that we do. I love having the quality time of just breathing and the melting away of all our stress and anxiety. I hope this will be something that they take with them and use when they get older. I wish I would have known how to do this when I was a kid. It could have really helped me a lot growing up. And yes, Lord, so many things could have helped me growing up if it was something that society was okay with and it wasn't considered taboo. So absolutely. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for sharing all those things. And again, if you want to be part of the Perk Squad, get shout outs and things like that in the video, then in the description box below, there is a link. You should be able to just type my channel name. And if the link doesn't work, God forbid, you should be able to pull up a browser and type in www.youtube.com/c/BeLucile. That's my name, right? And if you want to join the Perk Squad, just add another /join at the end of that and type that into your browser and it should work. So let's move this microphone right here. So I'm going to do this my little way. Don't know if this is how people do with pick-a-cards, but this is going to be my version of a pick-a-card here. I've already shuffled several times before this, but I'll shuffle again here. I'm gonna just do let's say 6 cards, because I usually do like little 6-card spreads. I'm just gonna do 6 cards for each pile and we'll go from there. So please hold. Alright, we've got 3 down in each. Ready to do 4. Then 5. Oops. Well, we'll let this one be 6 over there since it came out like that. We'll let it stand. So let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yay. I'm telling y'all, I wasn't good at math, so a bitch gotta count one by one. Okay, so this is how we're gonna do. This is spiritual advice from the guides about what you need to know for this Valentine's Day weekend. What is it that the message that you need to hear for this Valentine's Day weekend as it relates to giving and receiving love relationships? Could be romantic, could be familial, could be friendship, any of those types of things. So pick a pile. Do you feel drawn to pile number 1? Pile number 2 or pile number 3? Which pile do you feel drawn to before I pull them away? All right, hope you got it in your mind. Moving number 2 up here and number 3 up here, because we're going to do pile number 1. So, pile number 1, people, what do y'all need to hear? The message that y'all need to hear for this weekend as it relates to love stuff, love relationships, romantic, platonic, familial, whatever. Okay, so those of you who chose pile number 1, just gotta say it, that there is at least one relationship right now in your life with a loved one of sorts that is kind of coming to a time where it needs to end, or at least pause and take a break and have a moment to reassess. Because what we're getting here with this Chariot card, this is like, pump the brakes, stop. And here with the 8 of Cups, it's like, I need to walk away for a minute. I need some distance. I need some chill. And so it's like taking a little bit of a time out here. You don't have to walk away permanently. You don't have to get rid of this relationship permanently unless you feel like you're drawn to. Then I can understand that. But it doesn't mean you have to. It just means we need a break here. There is a certain gift that's coming your way from the universe, and this relationship is kind of getting in your way. That could be a lot of different things. It could be somebody who's kind of using you, and they would take a literal, tangible kind of gift from the universe from you. It could be someone that drains you, and the universe is really trying to help you with your self-care, but this person is really draining you, and you've got to step away for a minute and reassess boundaries and come back to the relationship saying, we can move forward as long as you respect these boundaries. So this is something that it, with at least one relationship in your life, for those of you who chose pile number 1, this is something for you to take in mind as we're moving into this weekend. So you may not feel the strongest this weekend as you're contemplating this. It may be a bit on the upsetting side. It may be a bit like, crap, how do I do this? What do? I don't want to hurt any feelings. I don't want to, make any decisions that's going to have some permanent impacts in a way that works against me. So you may not feel like you're very strong in this decision, but this Judgment card upright says you are on the right path. In thinking about this, in considering this, in reflecting on this, you are on the right path. This is a major soul-searching card. This is like, for real, we need to take that pause. We need to take that time for a reset. Honestly, we do. And so the guides recommend you do that. The guides recommend you do that. So sweet, simple, brief, to the point. You know what you gotta do, pile number 1, people. You know what you gotta do. All right? Be honest with yourself in this. Some people might think, well, there's no relationships that I need to separate from, but there might be certain aspects of a relationship you need to kind of put some distance between. There could be a relationship that's like, oh, everything's great except this one part of it. And maybe that piece is something that you have to think about. So think outside of the box. Don't get stuck on minutia that makes you miss the forest through the trees here. Okay? All right. Pile number 1. That was you. So moving things along. And again, I don't know that I need to say this, but all this is all alleged, just my interpretation. So, hey, we're going to do it that way. We're going to say it because we always say this. So, pile number 2. Folks that chose a pile number 2. All right. Y'all, we got some similar things going on here in pile number 2, but pile number 2 is kind of an amped up version almost of pile number 1. So if you chose pile number 2, you chose the more intense version of pile number 1. So what I'm seeing is there's meant to be some sort of newness coming in your life, but you're not recognizing it because you're trying too hard to preserve something that doesn't really fit anymore. So whatever it is, it's like you're clinging on to your pride. You don't have confidence in yourself to make this change or to make this move. You want to believe that some relationship that you have right now is stronger or better than it actually is, and you've actually tried convincing yourself that that's true, but deep down, if you would be honest with yourself, you know that it's not so true, and it's time to embrace whatever this new thing from the universe is. It's time to transition. This death card is let certain things end and let other things begin. It's time for a transition. Get it? That's important. That's important here. It's something that you're like, I don't want to do, blah, 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 like kind of dragging your feet about it. Because again, you want to convince yourself that it's actually a better relationship than it is. And again, this can be any kind of loved one. This doesn't have to be just romantic. It can be, like I said earlier, platonic, familial, things of that nature. But I see this heartbreak card. It's like you are at a point right now that with a certain relationship, it's just inevitable that things need to transition, and that may not feel good. It may be a painful thing to go through. It looks like it very well could be, but it's one of those things that it's like we got to go through the motions. We've got to get the painful situation over at some point. It's like, do you want to do it now or do you want to do it later? I'd rather, bite down and get it over with kind of thing is what this is looking like. So be thinking about what you're not being honest with yourself, what you're not seeing clearly here because you're not wanting to be completely honest about a certain relationship. And again, it could be an aspect of a relationship, but for this, it's probably more so an entire relationship rather than just an aspect, because we have some major key players here with these two cards right here. But for some people, since this is a general reading, it's meant to be tailored to a lot of different people, and we're all in different types of circumstances. So if you feel led to be like, I really do believe it's just an aspect, not a full person that I have to get rid of or whatever, then go with your intuition on that. But this is the intense bigger sister of that first pile. Lord, Brenda, what a bitch. All right, those of y'all who wanted stack number 3, pile number 3, let's see what we got for you here. Pile number 3 for Valentines. So, okay, this is quite interesting too. This is saying, for those of you who chose pile number 3, there's at least one love type relationship in your life where you are going a little bit overboard with it. Getting a little bit reckless, kind of not using your brain on it too much. You might be clouded by certain emotions with this. And they're saying, take a bit of a pause before you make a decision. But you're like, oh, my decision's already made. I'm going full steam ahead. I'm in this. This is what I want to do. But they're saying, if you feel like in any way you might be blinded by your feelings, if in any way you might have emotions kind of doing more talking than the mental clarity that you should probably take some sort of heed to, then it's like, come on, let's plug our brain into it too. We can think about these things with love, yes, but are we missing the clarity component? Are we missing the brain component? Can we include that too, please? Fold it in, incorporate it in. Like, on the Schitt's Creek thing where they're like, fold it in. What do you mean by fold it in? I mean, fold it in. But what do you mean by fold it in? I don't know. I can't tell you how to do this. Like, come on, y'all. I love Schitt's Creek. I love it. Thank you, Canadians, for bringing us some kind of a comedy that's like actually not slapstick predictable that I could see coming from a mile away, that it's like genuinely take you off guard funny. Thank you. Anyway, just had to put that out there. Yeah, fold in the brain with the emotions here, y'all, for y'all in pile number 3. Sometimes you think about things because you're very emotional, either because you're wrapped up in the love of it, or you're very emotional because you're wrapped up in the, but they hurt me, and or something like that. You can be very emotional in both positive ways and negative ways, and they're saying either way that fits you, rein that in a bit and incorporate some brain in it, some mental clarity in it, some thought in it, and see where that takes you. So that's pile number 3. I think what I'm going to do is one more overall. Let me slip these in and just get, for everybody, something that we can use to take away this Valentine's Day weekend. For everybody, something we can use and take away. Alrighty, y'all. Let's see. Okay. This is making sense. Okay. So, for everybody, for this Valentine's Day weekend, this is kind of saying, again, we all need to take some kind of a stop moment. We all need to take a pause. We all need to pump the brakes a little bit, and we need to work on some things. So apparently there are some relationships in all of our lives that we could use to work on harder instead of just trying to go and do something else. So there are certain relationships here, and to me, with the cards that I'm getting on here, these are not love relationships that I'm seeing in terms of romantic relationships. What I'm seeing with this pile is looking like our love relationships, our love relationships that are more like between family members and friends and things like that. It looks like there are some that we need to put more work into instead of having this kind of throwaway idea about it, throwaway culture of it, that there's more work that could be put into it. And of course, know your limits. And if you're putting work into something, it doesn't mean you have to put yourself into it to the detriment of your own self-care and self-love. You can put work into something while respecting yourself and holding very firm boundaries. And that's, what they would be talking about here. They would never say work on something harder to the detriment of yourself. Over here, this is a card where it's like we need to have some confidence in what we do. We've got to try to move forward with a clear mind, with what we feel inspired and led to do. So there's going to be some things that you might think of as, well, maybe I should work harder on this because it would be the smart thing to do, or maybe because blah, 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 blah. That's where you're starting to analyze things, and you're going to get into analysis paralysis. Are you feeling emotionally led to work on this relationship or to do something? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel passionate about doing something related to this relationship? This is more about what we feel rather than what we think. So in this particular relationship, it's like, yeah, have that clarity of mind. Do not throw that out the window, but don't overanalyze something to the point of analysis paralysis. Take what you're feeling led to do and inspired to do as it relates to this certain situation. And in some ways, if you feel like it doesn't pay off, if what you do doesn't pay off, take that information as a data point. Take it as a data point. Because for some of you, this stuff will pay off. And for some of you, it's like, you know what? I had to try that extra little bit just then, just so I could say I did everything I could. I exhausted all my options. I tried really hard. And if it didn't go anywhere, it's not because I didn't do my part. And that way, if you have to close a certain chapter on this friendship or on this family member, it's not because you didn't try. And so there's a lot in this. There's a lot in this as an overall for all of us. So, I don't know. If anybody feels comfortable to share their experience of what their pile might refer to and what it feels like they want to do as a result of this, then let us know. You don't have to share if you don't want to. And if you want a private reading with me, the description box below, you can see a link to my website, www.BeasTalksAndTarot.com, and everything is there. It's all there. Schedule it yourself whenever you want. Alrighty, y'all. So, I've been going for a minute now. I am going to pull these up and close my mouth. I hope that y'all have had a good week so far and are going to have a great Valentine's Day weekend. I reckon I will see you on the next one. So, don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye. Love you, mean it. Love you, mean it. Bye, y'all.